Welcome to Pilot Season, the program that looks at the first episode of television programs. Every week, our panel of experts reviews both comedy and drama shows. If you're a fan of classic comedies such as Gilligan's Island, Married with Children, and The Honeymooners, or newer classics such as Lost, The Sopranos, The X-Files, and Breaking Bad, this is the place. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, this program is simulcasted on both Facebook and YouTube, which allows the viewers to be a part of the fun. And now, here are your hosts of Pilot Season. Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of Pilot Season. I am your host, Kinte, all the way live from Los Angeles, California, and I'm so happy to be here. And I'm joined by my crack staff. No, they're not on crack. They're not on crack, but I don't know. What is, when you say someone's a crack staff, does that mean they can get there in a crack, in a jiffy? I don't know. We're going to have to investigate that. All right. So let's start off. You know what? We're going to do backwards day. Okay. We're gonna start with the gentleman first.
Oh,
all right. So we're gonna make the ladies wait.
We've
Yes.
got gentlemen.
Oh wait, there is no gentleman. So let's start with the lady. No, just playing. No. All right. So this first gentleman is all the way from the great state of Florida, representing the Jacksonville area. Is the one and only Joshua.
Duval, I guess. I don't know. It's just where I am, Kinte. It's not exactly a reflection on me as a person.
You know what? They said, Jacksonville got the Super Bowl some years back, and they said it was the worst. It was the worst place that they ever had the Super Bowl.
Funny story. I was working at a Waffle House at the time, and the Super Bowl had the worst people they come to Jacksonville in a very long time. So I guess the feeling was mutual.
You see how he got defensive. He was like, no, the people were bad. It wasn't my town. See,
I don't care if they treated the town bad, but they treated me poorly, and I didn't appreciate that.
Okay.
No tipping, no tips.
All right. And okay, here you go. Olaf, who name doesn't roll off. I don't know. I can't. I'm thinking, man.
You're still
working
on it.
Still working on
that. It's like, how are you doing? It's like it's another great day in the wonderful state of Indiana, and I'm just so be here on this show tonight to talk about these shows. I cannot contain my excitement.
All right, yeah, I think the cat got your tongue a little bit.
I've got internet issues.
Oh wow, yeah. All right, see what happens when you start. Yeah, see what happens when you start with the guys. My bad. All right, here we go. Tory, who gets all the glory.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm
How you
good.
doing? All right, I love your shirt, Blob. The Blob.
The Blob, yes, the original Blob.
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, the Blob actually was gross to me. Like just the way that he just sucked you up and all of that stuff. Oh man. Yeah. But as an adult, it's like funny now.
Yeah, it's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Like when you were a kid, they were terrifying tomatoes.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
That movie messed me up because I think in one of them it started where a woman opened a can of canned tomatoes, and then that's how she got killed or whatever. And I was like, and when I was a kid, I was scared to open a can of tomatoes. I was like, but the tomatoes is gonna kill me. No. But I got over it now. I'm not scared anymore. All right. And last but definitely not least, the one and only Renee. When wherever she's at is a sunny day.
Oh, all right. I like that. Thank
you. All right. Okay. I didn't. Josh makes you say, "Oh my gosh," There you go. I forgot to throw one for Josh. All right, here we go. So today we are going to be reviewing the show Married with Children, the show that started in 1987 and was very controversial. First of all, let's do it like this. Before I'm gonna get into a little bit of background, but raise your hand. Well, Olaf, you could just say hand is raised. Raise your hand
like
if you watch Married with Children when it was on originally.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. I remembered when it aired. Like I remember the night it aired, like vividly, because they ran it over and over and over because Fox was a new channel and they didn't really have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, old people will say, I remember when TV used to go off.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is I remember it too. So what's that?
Oh yeah, the sign off with the it's like with
American
the flag and all
flag,
that,
and
and it's like all that. It's like, yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, and TV just stays on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
Now,
And they had infomercials to fill the time,
Yes.
right.
Damn it.
Okay, so on Married with Children premiered April 5th, 1987. This show was actually, do you guys know that it was initially supposed to be a all black cast?
No.
No, really? No, I don't know that.
Because one of the creators is a black person. It was created by a white guy and a black guy. The names are Michael G. Moye and Ron Leavitt. I'm assuming that Moye is the brother. And the name of the original name of the show, I shit you not, was going to be called "We're Not the Cosbys."
Oh
What?
wow!
That was really the name of the show. Now, there's a history of shows being whitewashed that were like Eight Is Enough was supposed to be about a black family. There's a bunch of stuff, right? This is the one time I'm glad they kept it white.
It was okay.
I love the show, but I don't know if I would have loved it if it was like a black family.
Agreed.
That's I'm good with that, and but I love the show. It was a great show, and I remember watching it religiously. And it's so funny. 87. I was born in 76. So what was I, 11? Something like that.
Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah. 11.
So I probably had no business watching the show.
I was a little older.
but check this out. I remember one time I saw a video of Frank Sinatra singing the Love and Marriage song. And I remember turning to my father and going, he's singing the Married with Children song. I was like, oh, wow. It's like, and then he's like, no, that was like his song already. And then I was like, oh, he made it for the show. So, but it will always be remembered. Anytime you play this song,
Yes.
It's the Married with Children theme song.
Yeah.
And the opening is priceless with Al Bundy handing money out to everybody, including the dog. That is so classic. So, all right, let's start off. We'll start off, ladies first. We'll start off with you, Renee. What are your memories of this show? Is it a show that you remember vividly?
Yes. Yeah, I remember. They seemed like the Peg and Al never got along.
Right.
They always gave each other a hard time, and the brother and sister always messed with each other. And yeah, so I remember it, and I watched many of the episodes more than once.
Oh yeah, definitely. What about you, Tory? What are your memories of the show? overall?
Christina Applegate being a complete ditz. Like,
Yes.
I remember that like it was yesterday. Like knowing that I was probably too young to get some of the jokes
Mm-hmm.
was another thing that I kept thinking, like, I don't understand why this is so funny, but the laugh track's telling me to laugh,
Right.
so like it has to be funny, you know.
Right, right. And what about you, Josh? What are some of your memories of Married with Children?
Well, I've seen every episode multiple times. I started watching it when I was probably too young. I want to say it didn't influence my view of the world,
Thank God.
but that's probably a lie. But I did learn a lot about how to behave and how not to behave based on examples set by the Bundy family.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
sometimes I pick the right one.
Well, last week we gave you a lot of crap about not sharing Golden Girls with your kids, your daughters.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't shown them Married with Children yet, I'll give you a pass. Yeah, I'll give you a pass on that.
It's
So
not so much wholesome fun as the Golden Girls.
right.
They're older than I was when I first started watching it.
Oh, I see.
By far.
Have they, to your knowledge, have they seen it?
They might have caught an episode of two while hanging out with my dad.
Oh, okay.
The same one that showed it to me. And I'm wondering now whether or not I have a good father.
Questioning the whole family dynamic.
That's funny. And then, what about you, Olaf? What are some of your memories of the show?
Oh, I thought it was great. It's like, in other words, of course, you always like. I mean, they fighting all the time, but then arguing, and they're always trying to outdo each other, or like Bud was always trying to like do something or get. I've got to think. I just lost her name.
Kelly.
Kelly, thank you. Gosh. It's like Kelly in trouble all the time. And, he's like, hey, Dad, guess who Kelly was with? And $5, he was always getting money from him. But, even though they fought a lot and argued a lot, and they were always, trying to get each other, the one thing that kind of sticks out is if you messed with one of them, you messed with all of them. I mean, they may have been a weird dynamic on a family, but if you hurt one of them, they all came after you, so they had each other's backs.
Yeah, that's for certain. They definitely they argued with each other and stuff, but they did rally together.
Yeah.
So you always can respect that about them. All right, so let's we're gonna do our character breakdowns and whatnot. And a lot of people don't know this. Before Ed O'Neill got the role on Married with Children, he actually he had scored the role of Ted Danson's role in Cheers.
Oh,
and a lot of people don't know that. And then what happened was they decided because he was supposed to be an ex-football player, and then they decided to make him a baseball player. So then they recast with Ted Danson. So that's how, because Ed O'Neill used to play football. So, and then he was going to be the father in Family Ties, much different kind of family, and then somehow they recast or something like that. So he had, so he had a couple of opportunities before this. So just think about how different his career could have been, if he had taken one of those roles. So, and one thing too about Katey Sagal is that her husband is the creator. His name is Kurt Sutter. He's the creator of the show Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And the role that she played on that show was created for his wife. So, I mean, I guess if your husband creates a show where you win an Emmy, is there a honey-do list still?
Maybe a different shopping list.
She'll be like, take out the garbage. I'll be like, that Emmy right there says I don't have to. Thank you.
A bar has just been raised for all
Right.
boyfriends everywhere.
But Katey Sagal. Well, I guess you know what. I'll wait. I'll add what I was gonna say when we get to her. So of course we got to start off with the main man himself, Al Bundy, and we'll start off with you, Olaf. What are your thoughts on his character, especially in this episode? How they established him, and overall, what do you think of Brother Al?
Well, let's see. He's, somewhat hardworking, selling shoes, and the typical don't get no respect at home and all that. And I mean, he played the part well, and like I said, the ex-football hero and all that. So
Okay.
yeah, Pokai, the making the winning, scoring the winning touchdown and stuff and all that. Yeah, I think it's like his character was pretty good. I liked it. I mean, I liked his character. I could relate to his character because, now for me, I was actually old enough to understand most of the show and the jokes and everything. So I got a lot of the references.
Oh, okay. What about you, Tory? What's your thoughts on Al Bundy? And you're on mute.
Sorry, I keep doing that. Okay, so I thought that he was so much like my dad, like disgruntled and angsty. Like I thought that's how men were supposed to be for a long time. Like as a married guy, with the ball and chain, and like I don't know, he's miserable in his life, and he doesn't hide it. Like he's very open about not getting his juice. Like
Right.
But
Right,
that's what I thought of him. He's a very straightforward person. I thought he did a wonderful job. Ed O'Neill did a wonderful job as him.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Josh? Your thoughts on Al Bundy, played by Ed O'Neill?
Well, Ed O'Neill did, of course, a remarkable job playing Al Bundy, an iconic TV character. As a person, Al Bundy is absolutely terrible. But the thing you can say, you kind of touched on this before, Kinte, is that no matter what happens, Al will always be there for his family.
Right.
And sometimes that is just, handing out a few bucks. And sometimes, it's smashing people's faces in, which happens quite frequently throughout the years when this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember No Ma'am? That was pretty funny.
That was good.
Funny.
I always liked how he showed Kelly's boyfriends to the door.
Like literally.
To the door. Wham!
Yeah.
Oops.
But don't let that distract you from the fact that he scored 4 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah.
Right. That's for sure. Okay, Renee, your thoughts on Al Bundy?
Oh yeah, I think he was typical dad. He takes some of the crap that I guess a dad would take, but he is a family guy, and he happy to come home because he's not at work, but then how happy is he at home? But it's funny how he taints the newlyweds ideas of marriage. So but yeah, I think he played the part pretty well.
Yeah. All right. So of course we got to talk about Pam, who Pam. Peggy Bundy, who she can't get no satisfaction. And, well, in this episode she does at the very end, which is different than if you follow the show. And then also she is quite the housewife. I mean, she just works so hard in the kitchen, and she doesn't she's one of those people that doesn't stay still. She's always constantly moving. and working. But so we'll go back to you, Renee. What are your thoughts on Katie?
She's the best. No, she's always, to me, always annoying because she always gave Al a hard time. Even at the beginning of this episode, just he's in the refrigerator. You can see he's looking for something, and I'm getting a draft. Chloe, you have to stand there. So yeah, I'm like, leave him alone.
I know the minute she opened it, like it wasn't even like, it wasn't like he had it open for a while. Yeah,
but she did do some housework, so we can't say she didn't do anything this episode. She did vacuum a little. Well, she vacuumed a little.
she vacuumed out the ashtray.
And
the scraps on the table.
Wrappers.
Yeah. Oh, that was her thing too. Bonbons watching Oprah.
Yeah,
right?
And forgot the juice.
The one thing I know. Twice. Yeah.
Right. And we reviewed Lost, and really Lost was the show that helped her transition from being known as Peg Bundy to doing like more dramatic stuff. So I don't know if you guys remember, she was Locke's lady in the flashbacks, and she was very good, and she did an excellent job in that role. And after that, that's when people started saying, "Oh, okay, she's an actress. She's not just this one character."
Yeah.
So.
And she was. I saw her in Sons of Anarchy. So.
Oh yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she played that really well.
She had a stretch on Sons of Anarchy where I felt like she had the best female role on television.
Oh yeah.
And then I thought it was her. Well, actually, then when Orphan Black came out, I thought.
My show.
Yeah, I thought Tatiana Maslany was the best thing on television for as the ladies are concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's awesome. Okay, so Tory, what's your thoughts on Peg?
She gives him too much shit. She does. Like, she's the stereotypical lazy housewife. This is what guys bitch about on Facebook. Like, oh, my wife doesn't clean, she doesn't cook, she can't even buy me juice. Like, but she makes it work. Like, for some reason he doesn't leave her. So
yeah, he loves her. That's his baby.
That's his
baby. Yes, yeah, for sure. What about you, Olaf? What's your thoughts?
Well, with that being said, the one comment or thought comes to mind is it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
And to get rid of her. But, it's like, man, she is, what every woman should aspire to be as a housewife.
Yeah.
Now when it comes to Kelly, whatever she needs or wants, she gets.
Yeah.
It's like, Bud, it's like, he might get some food here and there. And it's like, of course, like in this episode, or the kids get up and leave and they go to school, and they left I don't know, a bagel or something, and Al's like wanting food, and she says, "Oh, them kids, they just leave food around all over the place." She picks it up, takes it over, gives it to the dog.
No,
yes. Poor Al.
It's like Al got nothing. He's kind of like, yeah, hey, but. Yeah, and she keeps the house all nice and neat, and the refrigerator filled, and that's what every housewife should strive to be.
Yeah, right.
Not.
Yeah, not.
Not.
What about you, Josh? Peggy?
Well, looking for something nice to say. Still searching. Peggy is, and also very, she's definitely there. And Buck the dog gets fed well. Yeah, that's it.
You don't want Peg as your wife? No?
Think long, think wrong.
I'll allow it.
All right. So this next character, we'll go back to you, Josh. But Bundy, I love how he has his, I guess because he's a military, his name on there. That's hilarious. Played by David Faustino, who I don't know if you guys remember. There was this story that they had where he was a rapper for a minute. And a lot of people don't know that was based on a real thing because he really was trying to be a rapper in real life. And so they kind of made fun of it on the TV show.
No vanilla ice for you.
Right. So let's talk about Bud.
Well, in this episode, we don't really get a whole lot of Bud other than we know he's there to torment his sister. Grandmaster B is still a few years off, as well as his horn dog nature. That's coming too. But in the pilot, he's just the annoying little brother. That's not to jump ahead or anything, but I think that's, out of all the characters, Bud is one of the ones that gets characterized the most as the years go on. And in the pilot, everything seems a little more grounded. Like this is just a real dysfunctional family that, they get by. That's what they do. In later years, it becomes a cartoon of itself, which doesn't make it any less enjoyable. In fact, I think it makes it more enjoyable. But to see, it's starting, over, it's really an interesting thought, when you already know where it's going.
And what about you, Olaf? Your thoughts on Bud?
Well, he's a sneaky little devil. He used that plant to sneak up and try to slit Kelly's throat. His character, like I said, I don't know. He, always, trying to do, trying to always aggravating Kelly. And I don't know. He had a pretty good character arc between the pilot and where he actually wound up later on in the show. I think his character arc was, kind of went almost all the way, it's like, went from, left, it's like left to right. So, I thought his character was good. Brought a good flavor to it, and the whole thing of always ratting out Kelly, and then he'd rat Al out to he'd rat mom, dad out, either one of them. He didn't care. He'd rat somebody out if they gave him money.
The typical young brother.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Renee. But
well, I didn't have little brothers, so just seeing, I guess, through my nephews, how they act. I think he's like the, I guess, typical younger brother. If they have an older sister and want to get on their sister's nerves, so yeah. But I agree with Olaf that I think his character, I guess, drastically changed from where you first saw him. It's more about how he treats his sister, or gets on her nerves, but then later it's more about his playboy type act, I guess.
Right.
But yeah.
Can I add one thing to Bud? And then there was the other thing too, is later on, as he got older, in other words, he aggravated Kelly all the time, but he took up for her. In other words, if somebody wronged her, but he was after him.
Right.
It's like the typical, I can mess with my sister, but you can't.
Right. There you go. That's it. Okay. Just wanted to add that.
Yes, that's true.
All right, Tory.
Pre-pubescent Bud was kind of boring. Like, I mean, he was a typical annoying little brother. Like in this episode, like Josh said, we didn't really see much of him. We didn't really see how his character develops, but you're right, he does become somewhat of a play. See, he's not a playboy as
right. I want to be playboy. Maybe.
Yeah. He's just wannabe. He's definitely a poser whenever it comes to all that stuff. But he does have a heart, though. Like, I think because he plays such a slime ball sometimes, you forget it. But whenever he does took up for Kelly and his mom too, there's been episodes where he's stuck up for Peggy too. So like, he does have a heart. He just doesn't show it very often.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so last but definitely not least, I wanted to save her for last, and we're gonna go to Tory first on this one. Is Kelly. Christina Applegate.
In this episode, you don't see as the ditch that she really is, though. Like my sister grew up in the 80s. Okay, so her and my sister were very similar in age, and like the outfits were spot on, the hair was spot on. Like, she really they kept her very with the times when it came to fashion and all that stuff, which was cool. And all her boyfriends, like, that reminded me of me whenever I was younger.
Cobra. You probably dated a guy named Cobra.
I probably did. Cobra Kai. No, that's Scrubby Kid. No, I'm just kidding. But she's definitely a typical teenager back then.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked her though, and I like Christina Applegate too. I think she's a wonderful actress. She's done a lot of really good stuff, and I think that she was just coming into her own.
Anchorman. Yeah, she did Anchorman. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah, she did. She did a show Up All Night too for a little while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. No. She was a very good actress. All right, so Joshua, what are your thoughts about?
Well, first of all, you brought up "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead."
Yes.
So by law, somebody has to say, "Dishes are done, man." You fulfilled that obligation.
Hilarious.
But a lot like Bud, she really drops in IQ over the years, like drastically. Her dating habits remain the same, which is odd considering what she's
her age,
15, 16 in the pilot. So yeah, not really any growth there, as far as maturity level of the people she hangs out with. But of course, for all we know, all the guys are actually the same age. So at least she has a type.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think in the pilot, she also suffers from a lack of screen time. But it's the pilot. You have a story to tell. Not everybody's going to be fully fleshed out in the first episode. And I think a lot of shows that don't make it for, whatever reason, that's one of the biggest problems in the pilots is so much exposition. We have to tell everybody who these people are and all of their quirks immediately. No, you just introduce them. Show them how they interact with each other. They did that beautifully with the Married with Children pilot. You knew how her parents felt about her. You knew how her brother felt about her. And that's really all you needed from this episode when it came to Kelly. Overall, though, she is an enjoyable character for the run of the series. And I would, if they ever did sort of a pickup or kind of reboot the whole Married with Children thing, I would want it to come from the Kelly perspective.
Oh, okay. Did you have a crush on her as a kid?
Yeah, of course. Didn't everybody?
I did. I'm not even that way. So she's hot.
All right. What about you, Olaf? Did you have
Well,
a crush on her? And
oh yeah, oh yeah.
and
What's not to crush? I mean, blonde. Yeah, I had a crush on her. They now it's like with her, in the pilot, they kind of set how her character is going to be. Because you already know she's like, what's that word I'm looking for? Tart. Yeah, that's it.
Oh wow.
Well, and her character, it's like, oh man, she just kind of was just out in left field, and no idea, no clue about anything, and but it was like, hey, he's got a motorcycle, hey, he's got a van. I like how she when Bud ratted her out about being with Cobra, and he had a sore on his mouth. And she's like, "Oh, it's not that kind of a sore. He fell asleep with a cigar in his mouth."
Yeah, that made it better. Made it so much better.
I'm like, okay. And they only call him Cobra because he's got a picture of Cobra on his van. Okay. So it just kind of, like I said, the pilot kind of set her, as being a, kind of footloose and fancy free, and the type of men, it's like type of guys that she would date. But she pulled it off quite well. It's like, and as she got older and later on in the series, she dated she dated like some older men, and it's like in the same age and then older, and then finally, I don't know, one day she kind of started being less, being less of a tart. Yeah, less slutty, and got to be kind of more, I don't want to do this anymore. So she had a big her character arc went from left to right too, I think.
I'm trying to remember her non-slut phase.
It was at the very end. It wasn't. It's like it wasn't much of. It wasn't. It's like I won't say it was a non-slut. It was less slut.
Not ass. Not as
Not
much.
ass.
Not ass.
Not like non, but
Not
not
as
as not as
not as much of one.
not as promiscuous. That's
right.
it.
Remember when she dated the guy from the ketchup commercial, and then they got a spinoff show?
Oh, right.
And then he became Joey from Friends.
Right. It was Top of the Heap or something like that. It was called, that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was such a terrible show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
but that's my thoughts on her.
All right, Renee, what's your thoughts?
I was gonna say, like, this is her more reserved clothing out of her usual outfits, I guess. So yeah, but I think this one, like Olaf was saying, like we didn't really need to see much of the kids, and I guess the role that they're going to play throughout the show is more focused on like in the house with Al and Peggy. So I think what they showed was okay for the pilot.
Okay, and was she a favorite character of yours or not?
I think, well, because I watched it when I was a teenager, the things that she did, or I probably had thoughts of, I wish I could do that, but not in my household. I wouldn't have been allowed to even sneak out and do the things she did. So no, you probably wouldn't be talking to me today. So yeah, those are just thoughts, as a teenager. Yeah. So.
All right, so we got through the characters. So let's talk about the pilot specifically, and so there's there's basically two halves. There's the half of just setting up the characters, the setting up specifically Al and Peg's relationship, and you have the I can't get no satisfaction. All he just wanted some dang juice, and then he goes to work. And he's arguing with the woman about the shoes, and oh my God, it was some funny lines in there. It's funny, you can't even do that now.
No,
not even close.
It's like in the pilot, and there was when he was at the shoe store, then he had the other guy that was supposed to be working with him, and he was like going. He said, "You care if I take lunch? You just came back from lunch." Technically, no.
Right.
I
didn't have lunch.
It's like I was in bed with a woman. Okay, and then he goes over, and that one girl's in there, and he's like, "Hi, come on over here. Let me help you." It's like, did you know that your insole is like that insole of a movie star?
Right.
Wow. Okay, player dude. Okay.
I should have used that.
But then we never see him again.
Right. I guess he must have got fired.
We should have an in memoriam segment in the last episode of the season for characters that have disappeared for
that
the
never
pilot.
made it. You don't know why.
Like what's his face?
Rick and Morty.
What, Richie's brother?
Mm.
Yeah.
Happy Days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Went up the stairs, never came down.
Hilarious. That happened also on Family Matters. A character famously character did that. She went up the stairs and then started doing porn. So so
maybe that was what was upstairs.
Oh wow, they should have showed us that.
The public needs to know.
Right.
She was doing it for the family.
All for the fam, you got to do what you got to do, right? No, nobody agrees. Okay.
No,
Oh yes,
Family matters.
What it's like, Family Matters. Whatever you got to do, you got to do.
You're right.
Hilarious. All right, so then also, let's talk about the going to the basketball game and the argument. That was so funny.
Oh my God.
Because he was trying to get gangster with her,
Right.
like this is what's gonna happen. I'm going to go to the game, and and all of this stuff, and it was going back and forth, and there's a moment where you're thinking like, well, maybe he might win on this one, right? And then she pulls the biggest trump card, the pocketbook.
And the stores are still open.
Oh my God. And because all of his riches, was gonna get spent. So what did you guys think about that scene? It was pretty funny, I thought.
Yeah, that was good. It's like I have three things to say about that. You're going to the game. I got three things to say. The checking account's in my name, mine and your name. It's like the credit card is in both our names. The stores are still open. And he's like, oh, shit. Okay, I guess I got to stay. Yeah, I'm going to stay. Make sure you don't go to the store.
Hilarious. And I love this scene when they come in and then right as they... And then as they come in, he's like, I hate them.
They just barely got past him. I hate these people.
Oh my God.
Marcy is the worst though. She is. And
yes.
The longer the show goes on, the worse that she gets. She's the absolute worst.
Oh, and by the way, Ed O'Neill and her name is Amanda Bearse, I believe is her name. Yeah. They did not get along in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually had a huge issue. And he's talked about it in interviews and stuff. And I think she has too, but he has obviously a bigger platform. And they did not get along at all. They didn't get along. It's actually kind of legendary how much they didn't get along. So, that was kind of the deal with them in real life. So that's probably why they did it so well.
And I forgot about Steve, her first husband.
The first husband,
yeah. Because I keep remembering the second husband.
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
I kept thinking they were switched for some reason, that it was Jefferson first until I saw the pilot again. I was like, oh no, that's right.
That's when she got Darcy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And she was actually in the movie Fright Night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she did she showed off her boobies in that. I guess they were her boobies. I don't know. It's funny that I remember that.
Okay,
But
Mr. Skin.
hey, I will bring up that. You want me to pull up the clip, okay?
That's okay.
But yeah, I think she did that right before she did that. So, but yeah. So, what did you think? What did you guys think about the neighbors overall?
I thought they were the quintessential, like, first married, like, have no idea about what marriage is really supposed to be like. And then Peg and Al are like,
Shut it down.
they shut it down. Yeah,
They're
they're
so
like, nope.
cute.
Yeah, like, this is not how this is not how life works, you guys. Like,
Yeah. She's like, do you have PMS? She's like,
Well,
no.
you better get it.
Get
You
it.
better get
You
it.
better get it.
But that's because I've never been married, so the fact that they said they've been married 2 months, and then it was already starting to change the stuff that Peggy was asking her. I'm like, wow, that's kind of quick, but I don't know. So that was just interesting how they were in love, but it seemed like he was already changing already.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think you gotta love when Peggy's making the coffee for him, and she keeps
Yeah.
what was that, like 15 spoonfuls of coffee? Just
She had to
don't,
damage his
don't.
internal organs to keep him around.
Give him a heart attack. That'll make him last.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was funny.
and then she was like, "Our coffee will be good."
Will be
It's like,
good.
our coffee will be good. Put tap water in that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Marcy wasn't going to do it, and then she kept talking, and the more Peggy was talking, she was like going, "Oh yeah, we're going to put tap water in there."
And
That's
what the
funny.
hell is she wearing in this pilot?
The same thing. Like, it's just a bunch of things put together.
Yeah.
I thought the same
Yeah.
thing.
Funny.
I like
Hilarious.
Peggy's jewelry though. She's so fancy, like she's going
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
fancy,
she always had the jewelry and stuff, and
Right.
kind of dressed
She
like
would
she
be
was going
dressed.
somewhere.
Yeah.
She had to
It's
look
all
good for
front.
Oprah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she had to look good for Oprah.
So before we say goodbye to this episode, what do you guys think about how the show held up after all these years since
Oh my
1987? Do you feel like this pilot, the humor held up and whatnot?
Oh,
I
definitely.
do. I do.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it
I
did.
laughed you heard me when I was watching it,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there cracking up, laughing, like
Yeah.
just busting out laughing. It's still, to me, it's still funny.
Oh yeah.
And then the other shows that show's like crack. It was on a long time, like over 10 seasons. So
Yeah.
they had a nice long run doing their show, and then also like Ed O'Neill was able to do other things. Like he did, he was in K9, Dutch. He was in
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's
Yeah,
World, yeah.
yeah. He did a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I think at this point, since we're gonna go beyond the pilot a little bit, since we all have seen the show, I'm gonna start off moments that I remember from the show, and funny moments. And one of my favorite moments is when their air conditioning isn't working, and they go to the grocery store, and they just basically move in.
Camp out.
Oh my God, that is. I mean, I literally cried when I first saw that. It was so funny. Like, and I felt like that before, where I don't know if you ever where it's so hot and then you go in the grocery store and then you're like, I don't really want to leave. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't just camp out here.
You just go hang out by the freezer section,
Right. So, but okay, so that was mine. What about you, Renee? What's a moment from the show that you remember?
Well, I think for me, like any of the scenes where somebody was messing with one of them, they would always end up fighting those people. Like I said, earlier, you can't mess with our family. And whether they got beat up or not, they got beat up or they fought together as a family. So I don't know why I always enjoyed that part. Then they would just come home and be together, broken and bruised, but they would be okay. But I guess I enjoyed that all the time, all those episodes.
And what about you, Tory? What's a moment from the show that you remember?
There's this moment, and I don't remember like the context of the episode, but I remember that Kelly was really pissed off because she was PMSing, and she took like all these Kleenexes and she tore them into tiny little pieces of paper, like tiny little pieces of Kleenex, and she had this big ball, and like Bud came over and went. And she got so mad because she was PMSing, and she's like, yeah. It was so funny. I can't remember. I can't believe I remember that. But that's
What about you, Josh?
Well, I'm not going to use one moment because that I think would be impossible for me. So I'll just say anything that ended with the words "at the nudie bar."
The nudie bar, yeah. I still call it the nudie bar. And Hooters.
Right.
Hoot. Oh my God, man, they were on fire. Okay, I'll go to Olaf, and then I have to I'm gonna make one more thing about the show. But go ahead.
Okay. There's so many different ones that I liked, but I always thought it was just hilarious with Al in the car. He's always pushing his car, and it's like take it out and pushing the car, and then he went and bought that new car. The guy suckered him into buying that new car, and he's pushing it too. I always thought those episodes where he was. They showed him rolling in, and hey, we got to go here.
Technical issues. All right. Yeah, we lost Olaf for a minute.
Can I do one more then?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Al Bundy inventing the staycation.
Oh yeah.
Right. Funny, hilarious. Now there was one misstep though. And I think you probably don't know what I'm talking about. When they had the little kid 6, I think his name was 6, right?
7.
Yeah,
Seven.
Yeah, I hated it. That was when it got stupid, I think.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Oh, later, yeah.
Yeah, but then they got rid of the kid, I believe, right? And then
you wound up on a milk carton.
Right. Right. So that was probably the one misstep, I would say, on the show. But the show stayed consistently funny. Like, I don't know how you can do it, keep a show like that consistently good for so long, but
Well, they were on top of vital social issues and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right.
On a special episode of Married with Children.
I think even when they would add in the voiceover, whatever you call it, when Buck, whatever his thoughts were.
Right.
Every once in a while they would add those. I thought those were pretty funny.
Yeah, very funny. All right, so we'll start off with Renee. How can we get you in social media, and what should we be on the lookout for with you, Renee?
Facebook or Instagram, either my pencil writes or RDC Art by Design, and I'm working on a third children's book now, so hopefully that'll be done within the next month or so.
All right, Renee loves the kids.
Yeah.
All right. So Tory, how can we get you in social media and all that good stuff?
So I do this show with you, and then I do another show with our friend Jen every Thursday at 8:30 called The Movie Potluck, where we take a movie and we pair it with food and we discuss the movie. And this week is historical epics. So stay tuned for that. And then my show every Friday night at 9 p.m., The Infectious Geek, is awesome. And this week we're talking about eccentric billionaires, which will be fun. And then let's see, that's it, I think. Yeah, that's it. And you can catch me on Facebook at Tory Rush, or you can catch me on Instagram at Rush Tory.
Do people think that that's a stage name?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's not though. It's my real last name. Yeah.
Now coming your way down to center stage.
Story. All right, Josh, how can we get you on social media and all that good stuff?
Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at Skitcomic and the usual wadcomedia.com. It's up and running now, so I can actually send people to the site. It exists. It's there. This Thursday, as Tory said, it's the movie potluck. I just sent the opening sequence to Jen, and I think it's safe to say it was approved.
Okay.
All right.
Yay!
I did stuff. So be sure to tune in for that. And of course, this Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, sort of right after The Infectious Geek, it's the Wadcast, where we talk about writers, actors, directors, and Hollywood stuff, entertainment stuff. And this week's topic, in case you were wondering, episode number 89, is going to be a reboot of episode 88.
Nice.
It's true.
All right.
And Olaf, how can we get you?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook at Olaf Barbosa. But as I always say, don't follow too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
All right. And you can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson on Instagram. And of course, the website is theindyradio.com. That's THEINDY radio.com. And if you guys are listening to the show live, in a few minutes, we're going to be back to review the pilot episodes of The X-Files. But next week, we will be doing, you guys will enjoy this. We will be doing a newer comedy because, it's old still, but it's newer than the ones we've been doing. And virgin alert, I'm a virgin to this one. And I don't think you guys are, but this will be my first time watching a full episode. It's The Office. Pilot.
I am Office.
Pilot is the best one too.
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, I've never seen The Office. I've seen it like how like you walk in the house and it's like kind of on,
Oh no, you have to watch it.
Yeah. So
I'm a complete Office whore.
Yeah.
So
me too.
So this will be the first time I'm. So on this one, this will be the first time I've seen this one, the show. So that'll be interesting and exciting.
Ooh.
And the drama that we're going to be doing next week. Now, I've definitely seen this, and I recently saw the whole run of the series once again, is The Sopranos.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So any virgins with The Sopranos?
I've never seen it.
Wow.
Really?
Oh, my God.
All right.
Oh, man, do yourself a favor.
That's like the last episode.
And the pilot is amazing, too. So
I've seen a few. I've seen a few episodes, but I never did actually sit down and just watch the whole series of Sopranos.
Great show, one of the greatest shows. I had so much fun. I recently rewatched the whole series when that movie came out. The prequel movie. I decided, let me watch the show over again, and I had so much fun just rewatching that series. And it'll be fun watching the pilot again. So, and I always say, if you binge watch a show, either for the first time or just
the
again
10th time.
Yeah, I always say when you watch a series, watch the full series, and then after you see the finale, go back and watch the pilot, and then see if
the differences.
Yeah, and see if it made good on what the pilot was supposed to set up. But yeah, definitely. You want to, that's going to be great next week. So I'm looking forward to it. So with that said, we'll see you guys in a few, and God bless.